Hi, I'm Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl. This is my kitty Merlina, and some of you have been asking me to put Merlina in my videos more. So that's what I'm trying to do, but as you can see, she's very angry, so I'm just gonna let her go. She's a bit of a diva. So welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. I'm Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and I'm going to be using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann for this week's reading. And what I want to do is get kind of an idea of the energies of the week ahead and just how we can get through this week with ease and a little enjoyment. You know, how can we make the most of things this week? So I'm just going to shuffle my cards. And my cat she's very hissy. She's always been like that. She's always been a very expressive cat, and she loves to hiss. My other two cats, I don't think I've ever heard my other two cats hiss, but Merlina is like the hissiest cat I've ever met. So it doesn't really faze me anymore. Okay, so the card for the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday of the upcoming week, is the Hanged Man. Okay. All right, so we have the Hanged Man. And I'll put an image up on the screen so you can have a good look at it while I talk about it. So the Hanged Man is for the beginning of the week. And the Hanged Man, I like this card for various reasons, but I'm not always excited to see this card show up. The Hanged Man is saying you would do well to surrender to what is this week. There are moments in life where taking action is important and where you have a big influence on things. And then there's times where you need to kind of just let go and let things take their course and let things unfold in the way that they need to without meddling and getting involved. What the Hangman tells me is that the more you try to make things happen, the more frustrated you're going to be. And so the Hanged Man is saying there's almost a spiritual lesson in this week around letting go and surrendering and accepting that, okay, things are the way they are right now. And instead of trying to change things and trying to make things happen in a certain way, the Hanged Man has an invitation for you. And it's about moving inward and focusing on your thoughts, your feelings, what I call the internal landscape. So, you know, your thoughts and feelings, your beliefs, your emotions. This week is a good week to do some reflecting, maybe some journaling, some meditation, some dream work. Yeah, so that's that's the message with the Hangman. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. I am struck by the posture of this Hanged Man. So this Hanged Man is a little different than your typical hangman. And the figure on the card, she's almost looks like she's in bow pose, like that pose in yoga, but she's sort of hanging upside down. And it just makes me think of flexibility and looking at things from an opposite perspective. So this is the week to challenge yourself to look at things from a totally different perspective, seeing things in a different way, and being flexible. So this is the week to be a little more flexible than you normally would be and play around with looking at things in a different way, kind of challenging your perspective. Merlina, do you want to help with the reading? Okay. So the card for the middle of the week, so Wednesday, Thursday-ish, we have... Ooh, okay. So we have the star, but it's reversed. So reversed star. So one thing that we all might be collectively struggling with this week is feeling a sense of connection to the all, to source, God, the universe, however you like to think of it. So we might struggle with feeling a little bit disconnected because the star is all about peace, tranquility, hope, trust, and feeling that sense of connection to all that is. Feeling like you belong and like you have a place in the universe. So reversed, I think that we're going to feel challenged a little bit in this area in that we might feel my cat likes to rub her face on the corners of my laptop. She's a handful. So we might feel a little bit challenged in this area in that you may struggle to connect with a sense of belonging. So you might feel like, oh, I don't belong here, or I'm not meant to be here, or I don't belong in this place. Like you might feel this sense of not belonging and not feeling connected to things around you. And you might experience this in a small way, like maybe you feel this way at work or in your social group or in your family, or you might feel it in this big existential way, like I'm not supposed to be here at this time on this planet doing this thing. Like you might experience it in a much bigger way, like almost having a little bit of an existential crisis. So that is the challenge of this week. Let's see what the next card is. So the card for the end of the week is Ace of Cups. Nice. Okay. So Ace of Cups for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm glad that we have this as the card that is kind of wrapping things up, capping off the reading, because this is such a uplifting, positive card. The Ace of Cups is all about gratitude, and there's something about the placement of those hands like this. It's like holding a space for yourself, holding a space for your emotions and your feelings. And part of the reason why you might be feeling disconnected right now, I think we can all kind of relate to this a little bit in some way. Part of the reason why you might be feeling a little disconnected is that you're disconnected from your own feelings, and holding a space for those feelings and those emotions to just be there and exist without trying to change them, without trying to transform them, is really going to help you kind of shift your energy this week. And I like to think of the Ace of Cups as it's a gratitude card. It's about acknowledging and appreciating the things in your life that make life beautiful. The people, the places, the activities that you really appreciate right now. And that might change from day to day or week to week, but really focusing on those things more than you normally do. Because I think it's easy to get fixated on what's not working or something that's frustrating, or fixated on, the negative emotions. The Ace of Cups is asking you to pivot and to focus on gratitude this week, specifically kind of on the weekend towards the end of the week. What or who do you appreciate the most in your life right now? I appreciate my cat Merlina. She's sitting right behind my laptop, and she's looking out the window, and then every now and then she turns and glares at me. And I love her sassy quality. Other people might not like a cat like that, but I love her so much, and I so appreciate her, and I'm so grateful that I have such a sassy little thing in my life. So yeah, think about what are you most grateful for in this moment, and if you want to share with me in the comments, feel free. I'd love to read what you write, read what you share. Okay, so let's look at all of these cards together. Oh, one more thing I want to say about the Ace of Cups. Aces are a new beginning, and I think with the ace is an opportunity to turn over a new leaf and to change a habit and start doing something a little bit differently. Now, just a little bit of a personal share, something that I've been wanting to do for a while is to not spend, take a week off of social media, just completely take a week off not, I'll still check my email and stuff like that, but like stay off of social media. Don't go onto Facebook or Reddit or I don't really count YouTube as social media, but I guess it is. But I still want to go on YouTube. But just take a break from some of those things. And that is a new habit that I've wanted to kind of implement, play around with. So that's how I'm going to read the Ace of Cups for me personally. But what is some new habit or a first step that you can take this week that will support your emotional well being? Because the Ace of Cups is all about emotional well being, and it can also be a card of healing and emotional healing. So, what is one small thing that you can do that would support your that will support you in healing emotionally, or just in building more emotional health, feeling emotionally well, emotional well-being? Okay, let's look at all of these cards together. I feel like the star, and actually I'm gonna move over so you can see all of the cards together. Okay, so the star. The star and the Ace of Cups, I feel, are similar, and I'm just noticing that the star, she has her hands at her heart, like that. Ace of Cups also does, and it's almost like the hand posture moving from doing this to doing this. It's like you may feel an urge to protect the heart this week. Ace of Cups is saying, hold a space for your heart, hold a space for your feelings and your emotions. Allow them to be there. Challenge yourself to really feel your feelings and let them flow. Yeah, okay. Also, interesting seeing the Hanged Man and the star together. So the Hanged Man is upright, but the figure is reversed, hanging upside down. And then the star is reversed, so looks like she's hanging upside down as well. And I think that's really interesting. Yeah, and I think that many of us this week may experience shifting our perspectives and seeing things from a different angle. We also might experience the feeling that life is becoming topsy-turvy and feeling like what was once up is now down, and there may be a struggle this week to kind of get your bearings straight and figure out where you're going and what you're doing. Like that might be a little bit discombobulating. I'm also noticing that each card has a burst of light. So we see the yellow burst by the head of the Hanged Man. We see the same yellow burst of light kind of at the bottom of the star card. And then with the Ace of Cups, it's not so much a burst of light, but we see a bit of a burst coming out of the heart. So I think that is telling, and that kind of links all three cards together. And you might experience, so the Hanged Man sometimes represents enlightenment and having a sudden flash of understanding and insight. So some of us might experience that this week. You might suddenly have a bit of a brainwave, a little bit of a flash and a sense of understanding at the beginning of the week. And you may have a little bit of trouble integrating that understanding, which is where the star reversed comes in. So having this understanding and knowledge and this insight, but then being like, okay, but how do I integrate it in a way so that I don't feel totally disconnected from life? And then by the time we get to the weekend, things do kind of shift. I feel like there's some sort of perceptible shift. I do feel like the Hanged Man and then the star reversed are kind of challenge cards. So I think that this week, in some ways, we might feel a little bit challenged. And then we get to the end of the week, and the Ace of Cups is like this beautiful invitation for you. This invitation to really get into your heart, connect with your feelings, hold a space, express gratitude, and start some sort of new habit that will support you on an emotional level. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to close the reading here, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that you find this reading helpful, and please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this reading, or give me a like, leave me a comment. It really helps my channel out. And let me know what you thought. Feel free to share your own ideas and insights about the cards in the comments below, and have a wonderful week.